WRL Tier 4 here for Silverstone back-to-back, where we do a short qualifying correct way of Silverstone with a 35% race and then a 25 one-shot quali reverse race around here. So this will be interesting to see what's going to happen here now, because anything can happen. Still, you get full points as well for both races, 35 points, and the points go down to 15th here on Wallaby. So see what happens is no one wants to leave the pits right now. But we'll see what happens is that I think is driver leaving the pits. It is. So and a Haas as well coming out of the pits of Chevy Wolves. Driver and Chevy have had their moments, but we'll see what happens this race. Hunter has a qualifying ban, so yeah, so he won't be partaking in this qualifying session. But anyway, let me just get chat up real quick. There we go. So let's see. This driver's gonna finish his lap. I'll start his lap, sorry, in a second. So we'll see what he's able to do. As he comes towards the final chicane now to begin his lap. Depletes some of his battery down to 80%, 76. Does turn 1 nicely, turn 4 as well now nicely. As he heads towards to open DRS. Doesn't look too bad through there now, Luffield. Oh, Brooklyn, sorry. I don't actually know the name of it. I'm pretty sure it's Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure. But towards Cops corner. Shifts down to 7th, but takes it flat, as it's been easy since F124. Looks a little bit shaky there, but still really good through here. Not looking too bad. And it's a 27.4 banker lap. So that is crazy. But it's a 28.8 for Chevy Wolves, so wow. Very quick here. Mowie's used all of his deployment, but he comes around the final corner. He's going to set a 28.2. X-Knight's teammate, front row lockout. Expecting rain. Says left for dead. So I guess he's engineering Hunter and Shining tonight, as he usually does. And if we're expecting rain either during the qualifying session or the race, that'll definitely make things very, very interesting here because, well, it'll be fast in the dry but slow in the wet. So this will throw some spanner in the works there. Some strategy options might change as well, depending on when the rain is going to come. Frizy, 29.6. So H-Town has just started his lap now. And I think that is a Haas about to come down the final corner. They're not Gorillas on a lap, so it's Chevy pitting. Dwight flying lap. Where's Dwight? Let's see what he's up to. A little bit of a lift there, draining that mid corner to save running wide, but not too bad so far. This looks like it's going to be a decent lap on that middle sector split. He takes it a little bit easy in that right hander, but not too shabby so far. This looks so far like a decent lap. Chaser's left the session. Donut Gorilla goes to P1 with a 27.1 there, and that is a 27.8 for Dwight. 1,000th faster than X-Knight's H-Town. P5 now with the 27.9, as well as Skillsy is just starting his lap. Duck Puncher is just finished an invalidated lap, it seems. Maney is on a lap. And Henchy up into P3 with the 27.484. 300ths off driver. Looks like Chevy's pitting. Jasewell's back in the session there. Matt Skills now is coming towards the end of this second sector now. This is where a lot of time can be gained, a lot of time can also be lost here, so but that looked really good there. It looked nice and neat through that section as he's depleting almost all of his battery. After Baku, he said his title hopes are over, but will that change today? There's 2 races to redeem himself. He's got a little bit deep. It looks like he's having a little bit of lag there, which is costing him a little bit of time, I reckon. But he does still go up into P4 with a 27.8. But as well, his championship rival is in P1 right now, so this should be a thrilling close race here between these two. Mr. Frosty is on a flying lap as he's just finished the first sector. Goffey's Hunter is retired because he's got a qualifying ban. 5 strikes, you get a quali ban. So that's not good for him. He's had some incidents at the first bit of the season. Frosty has invalidated his lap though while I was saying that, so he won't be able to finish his lap. Well, he will, but it won't count. X-Knights is on his out lap now to begin another flying lap, the second run of the 3 runs that we'll be doing here in this qualifying session. What can X-Knights do here? As he's proven himself to be a pretty quick driver throughout the season. When he first reserved in Spa, he got a podium for the RB team, and then not long after that, Goffey was dropped from Red Bull to get this guy in the team. And he's been pretty rapid since, other than an unlucky incident there in Baku with Hunter. Shining Swarm goes into P10, just ahead of Frizy, I think that was. He looked really good there. He's 3.5 tenths up, almost 4 tenths up. So he could be on just to go ahead of his teammate here, depending on what he can do through this final sector. Short final sector here, but there's still a lot of time to be gained through it. What will he come across the line? Turdu is going to be a 27.524, so he'll slot in just between Skillsy and Henchy, right behind his teammate there in the second row. Who else is on a lap? We got Kirko, who's on a lap now. He's got a lot of battery, but what's he able to come across the line to do in a second here? Final chicane. What can he do now? Is he's going to come across the line? It is going to be a 29.472 from Kirko. Mick as well is on a lap. Maney is on a lap. Jasewall is on a lap. Jasewall's going to come across the line in a second here. He doesn't look too shabby through this final chicane, but very hard, tricky accelerating zone there, but it doesn't look too bad. It's going to be a 28.5 just behind his teammate, or reserve teammate, sorry I should say, Moe as Mick. I think reserving for the Alpine team. That was a glitch, whatever. Anyway, comes out of the final chicane now. What is he able to do? Where is he able to slot himself into? Just behind Jasewall with a 28.639. Now, Duck Puncher is beginning his lap. His second lap, but the first one was invalidated. So what is he able to come across the line to do? Looking pretty good there through the middle sector, but he's depleted a lot of his battery. Shouldn't matter too much as he'll come across the line in a second now. Look pretty good through that chicane. I think someone's hit low fuel motor. He comes across the line to do a 27.5, just ahead of Skillsy, the other owner in the league. And it's fine, it's nice. Donut Gorilla's on a lap, and that someone spun in front of him. Is that Duck getting out of the way? But it looks like he just like spun. Championship leader. This is where anything can swing from side to side. Not even the top two maybe could come out on top after this weekend here in the back-to-back, because up to 72 points available during the weekend if you win both of them and get fastest lap. But Skillsy, after he finishes his second lap, he goes just ahead of driver, but still 3 tenths off Donut Gorilla. So is Donut Gorilla too quick? Maybe is the question here, because he's on one run and he's already still in P1 by 3 tenths. So there were talks. He's up by a tenth now, so it's going to be 27.0 so far at least. And he is quite literally flying if he gets on that curve, but doesn't seem to spin, so he seems pretty good there. So what's going to happen now is looks like it's probably really short shifts to 4th gear, and he looking really good. It's a 27.032 to extend his lap time and keep pole position so far. And yeah, no one else has been able to spoil it so far. So if we go have a look at the championship standings currently, we see Donut Gorilla 189 points, then Evil Blade 173 points, and then Matt Skills, a unlucky DNF for last round in Baku, leaves him 24 points behind the lead, but still in title contention. After this round he could come out leading it though. Never say never. Driver in the X-Nuts is your top 5, so Not too bad. Anyway, X-Nice is currently on his final lap of the day. Can he spoil the party for pole position? Let's see here. There's still a lot of time and a lot of laps to be done this qualifying session, but let's see what happens now. Doesn't look too bad through this twisty, tiny section. He might get a little bit of a slipstream off the Alpine ahead though as well, because he's got to work through a lot of traffic here. And he's going to get a great slipstream, wow. But he's going to get massively impeded by Duck Puncher, who just doesn't realise he's on a lap and he's in the wall. And that is a massive penalty coming Duck's way. And he is not able to finish his lap. It looked like the Alpine knew he was on a lap, and he was about to get out of the way, but Duck Puncher was not looking in his mirrors there, and he is going to get a fat little penalty there. Not a fat little, a fat penalty. He's cooked. Nice one there, Duck. That's it's not what we want to see, but anyway. His teammate, though, is bailed out of his lap. He's not going to finish it. But War Machine hasn't completed a lap, neither has the other Ferrari, so what's War Machine able to do? He goes a little bit deep in the final chicane, but yeah, that's not ideal. The X-Nice, he goes into P15, just had a shiny swarm. Goffy is halfway through his lap. Donut Gorilla finished, but unable to do his time. His teammate goes just ahead of him in the final not the final chicane, sorry. But Matt Skills as well. We'll see if he's improving on his lap. And what he is able to do. H-Town Realtor 27-4 comes across the line. Turdu. Duck's gonna come across the line. What's he able to do? He goes into P3, just ahead of Skillsy, but Skillsy's on a lap still, and he's still yet to finish it. Dwight has invalidated his lap, and he's finished. J-Swall also about to finish his lap now. Driver's finished his lap. He's stuck in P5, and he can't improve his time. But now, it's all up to Skillsy now, because he is so far in the top 5, about to finish his lap. Can he do it? He can get ahead of Duck, but he can't spoil pole position, so it is still locked in so far for Donut Gorilla. What about WRL Henchman? Can he do anything? No. He can only slot in just behind Driver and just ahead of Realtor by not that much, by 2,000ths. The Y's invalidated. Frosty can't finish his lap. J-Swall as well finished his lap. He couldn't. He did improve by 4/10, sorry, but he's only in P11 now. War Machine has invalidated his lap, and there we go. That's Donut Gorilla on pole position for Silverstone, and it's a front row lockout once again. I think this is the first time since Saudi, I think, maybe was the last time that they got the front row lockout, or Spain, from what I remember. Shout out to Jerobot for existing. So, we love that work that he does for the league. Wow, that is a very, very quick lap there from the Haas driver. Dwight, J-Swell, Moe, Frizy, Mick, Maney, War Machine, Shining, Kirko, Goffy, and Hunter with a quali ban. But it's all down to the race. But now we'll just wait for the drivers to... Yeah, wet race, full wet race from what I've heard, but we'll wait for the drivers to ready up now. I mean, they can't really change much in their setups, but let's see if anyone's prepared for it. This will be interesting. Shut up, Dante. Shapes, but everyone on the full wet tyres, it's 5 lights, and we go racing in Silverstone. Donut Gorilla gets a really good start there ahead of his teammate, but behind J-Swell's already making move, and that's a poor start from his teammate, already under pressure from Skillsy, but they're both off the track, and Skillsy is under pressure from Duck now, trying to send it up the inside, but he's being very, very cautious, as he should. 1.5 now to the lead. X-Nice losing a few positions, gaining a few positions, but there we go. See Chevy going off the road, and Skillsy trying to take advantage of the full wet conditions. Holy. Still trying to swallow my food. The two Rebels have had a poor starters. Drivers on the intermediates there. Just behind his teammate looks like full wet conditions to me, so really unlucky. Poor start from driver. He's trying to play the long game now. But driver's already looking up the inside of his teammate. And Frosty has had a great start. He's already on the back of Dark Puncher, looking to make pressure now, but Donut Gorilla's 1.4 seconds in the lead. Behind there, Frizy and Shining Swarm are going at it, and that we see Frizy have a little bit of contact there with Moe, and War Machine is off the road. Sorry, Goffy is on the grass, and that's already going off is H-Town Realtor, and now Frizy's looking it up the inside, but he can't make the move because it is Cop's Corner. Mick and Hunter are going at it. Hunter makes the move because Mick is just driving off the track. Kirkle and Mania swapping places on the exit of Cop's Corner now, so the tricky conditions is really throwing, I can't remember the word, but anyway, 1.8 seconds in the lead is Donut Gorilla, so this is really good for his championship if he wants to have a chance. Skillsy is really struggling here, so not good for him. But let's have a look at the tyres. Are intermediates better? Oh, and that's J-Swole out of the session and retired due to, I'm guessing, contact, and that's going to be a safety car, so... yeah. I don't know, I did not get to see what happened there with J-Swole, but it is a safety car, and that has just ruined everything that Donut Gorilla's just done there on the start. So that's really not good for him. X-Nice killed J-Swole apparently. So, let's see. Will the Inters become good? Jeraba asks. I think they will, to be honest, bro. I think you pit for Inters now, in my opinion. In the laps under safety car, and in the long run, I think the Inters will just get better and better and better. And yeah, but we'll see. As never mind. Duck Puncher gets a drive-through because it's only a VSC, and I was thinking it was a bloody full safety car the entire time. So Duck is already under threat from Frosty because there was a delta, and looks like the intermediates are just doing him wonders now. And Chevy Wolves is only 1.6, so he's gained a little bit on this restart. Really good from him. Behind that, look at Henchy and Driver. Driver trying to go the long way around on Henchman. Are the intermediates better? He's running out of racetrack, he's running out of grip, and he's run out of room, and he's gone too wide. And Henchman keeps that position for now. We see Duck Puncher serving his drive-through penalty now. So he's going to fall down the places. Is X-Knight's making any moves? No, he can't. Under threat from Dwight, though, but the full wets, I think, will still be better now. And 1.9 seconds in the lead now is Dana Gorilla because he's flying. And Skillsy is struggling here. So this is really not what he would want, as he needs to try and chase down this championship. But yeah. Ooh, Frosty having a little bit of a tank slapper on that rear there. That's gonna affect his exit a little bit. People just looking for grip now. Anywhere they can. War Machine and Frizy and H-Town are all going at it here on this straight. And it looks like H-Town's trying to go up the inside, but never mind, he can't make the move. He has to back out. War Machine sees an opportunity. He goes for the opportunity, but it turns to the outside line now, all the way around the outside with Frizy. There's a little bit of contact between Frizy and War Machine, but War Machine ultimately makes the move stick. So, does he have a wet setup? Maybe. And he's just made that move stick all the way around the outside because of that, or the intermediate's better. Because, this will be interesting, because who would have focused on qualifying more, like with the quali setup, than the wet setup, it seems. But it looks like the top three are on wet setups, maybe except for Skillsy, I think, might not be. Because he's struggling a little bit here, but Dwight and Frizy are going at it, and Frizy stays ahead of Dwight for now. But Hunter already up 7 positions in this Grand Prix. So, really good from him. War Machine up the inside of X-Knight. Don't realize that's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And War Machine makes the move stick. That was a late lunge from War Machine there. And he sets the fastest lap of the race. So, I think the intermediates might be better than the full wet tyres now. As yeah, it is intermediates for about half the grid. And Hunter, and he's made up 7 positions, so that might be the telltale sign. And up the inside is Driver on Henchman, and he makes that move stick for now. But Henchman can't really do much back on the straight, as he is burning his battery and will stay ahead. Running a little bit deep there, though, is Matt Skills, and running it deep again, which is just invited a double switch back there for Frosty. Can he make the move stick? It's all about the exit here, and it looks like Skillsy gets a little bit of better exit, but because they both have a lot of battery to burn here in the wet, they're going side by side through Cops Corner. These are critical corners for this Grand Prix. Up the inside is Frosty, and he's trying to make the move stick, but they're still side by side. So they haven't done Lewis Hamilton, but does that invite Driver? No, it doesn't. He's just sitting behind and waiting for the carnage to happen in front of him. But they made it through cleanly. But they've lost a lot of time from that, no. 1.8 seconds now to the Haas 1-2 ahead. Frosty, though, using his battery and using his straight line speed, will go up the inside and trying to go up the inside as well as Driver to make it 3 wide. He backs out, though, and oh, he's just drifting. Is Skillsy, and he can't do anything now, so he's under threat from Driver. But behind that, Henchman is pitting from the full wet tyres, so I think he'll be going for new intermediates. We'll see anyone else pile into the pits for the rest of this lap or next lap, where we'll find out, though. Moe and H-Town are going at it. Moe up a position. War Machine sets a new fastest lap. They're playing bumper cars there, as we can see. They're all kissing each other's radar fuses. And now Hunter is trying to get a much better exit, but he can't. But behind him, Goffy has a little bit of a tank slapper, so he can't even do much about that as well. Driver and Skillsy are now going at it, and that invites War Machine out of nowhere to try and go around the outside, but Skillsy is defending very well, so I think he is struggling crazy because I'm just, from speculation here, he's got a dry setup on because look at this, he's having to go defensive. Not to mention the intermediates are probably better because he's already trying to go all the way around the outside. Is War Machine, they get a little bit of a tie hook, and War Machine is forced to back out, but oh, he goes deep again. And it's going to be the same thing, but this time, because there's much more grip on those intermediates, he has a little bit of tank surface, so he can't actually get it like I thought he would. I thought he would just overtake him, but once again, he's just going to burn all of his battery because he's got so much more grip, so much more battery, and he just flies past Matt Skills, who is struggling, but now 1.9 seconds behind the top 4. War Machine finds himself. So now Frosty is only 5.5 tenths, 6 tenths back now from Chevy Wolves, who's on full wet, so I think the intermediates here are looking quick and mighty. And really good for this Grand Prix. Oh, it looks like a poor exit there from Chevy Wolves though, so can he go up the inside of him in turn 1? But whatever happens here, if he has a little bit of contact, drivers there, ready to pick up the scraps, sorry. But it doesn't look like he's quite far enough back, but Driver sees his opportunity, and there's a little bit of contact, and Driver now has a little bit of contact, and he loses that position for now again, and is stuck back. But War Machine, who is flying, so clearly he might have a wet setup as well. Duck peels into the pits for new intermediates, I'd say. I think we're quite in the we're well in the crossover phase here, but up the inside is Frosty because it looks like Chevy's just gone deep there and under pressure now from Driver, who's trying to go up the inside. There's no room given. He squeezed him as much as he can, but it isn't enough, and Frosty's now pulled 8 tenths because now Driver's looking to get ahead of him towards Cop's corner. He's using his battery. Great camera here. But he only has a front wing, but he actually is going to send it. But he can't quite make the move, but they're still going to go side by side towards the S section. War Machine is going to play it smart. He's just going to sit back now and let these two play it out. They're losing valuable time to Frosty, but War Machine is now trying to go around the outside. Is he on Chevy Wolves? Yes, he is, and he makes that move stick. Wow, what a move from War Machine there. He's just played that perfectly. That is insane. So Frosty now in the P2 flying is he, so we can see a little bit of a dry line coming up now, so I think it is, yeah, Driver and War are flying, yeah, so it's Frosty. The intermediates, you can see the dry line forming there. I mean, it's just clear as day. The intermediates are better, but Donut Gorilla on the full wets, can he do anything about it? Because he is on, I think, the slower compound in my opinion. Driver trying to go up the inside, so he's got a much better setup. He sends it down the inside, and is it a switchback opportunity for Frosty? Yes, but he's now trying to go around the outside of Driver, and Driver's made that move stick. Henchman sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Can War Machine get a really good exit here? He's got 100% battery. Frosty's off the road. So what's happened there? I think he's activated his battery too early, and he's had a little bit of a tank slapper, but he stays ahead of War Machine for the time being. But War Machine's going to send it up the inside, and he's going to force him wide there, and Frosty, out of nowhere, loses 2 positions from looking so strong, but Frosty trying to stick it back up the inside. War Machine's gives no space on the exit there, and he's forced to back out, and War Machine takes the podium position away from him, and already 1.4 seconds behind Driver, who's caught a second this lap to Donut Gorilla, so it looks like the full wet tyres are really struggling here. But if we look at the tyres there, we see the top 4, except for Donut Gorilla, from 2nd to 4th on the intermediate tyres. Donut Gorilla, Chevy, and Skillsy on those full wet tyres, and Dwight splitting the top from 5th to 9th in the intermediates there. Swarm in the points, the GOAT, the one, the only. Shining Swarm in the points for Left 4 Dead's team, yet killing it. Driver, he is. He's made some absolutely blinder moves, and it is time for Donut Gorilla to pit. So this is where strategy becomes a little bit what to do now, because obviously he's going to get new inters, he's going to be faster, but Driver's been on the intermediates and he set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and he's been on these intermediates for the entire race now. So, one, can he go to the end? Or two, does he have to pit again and get undercut maybe, but go for new intermediates, as they're double stacking at Haas, and that's going to make Chevy lose out big time there, because he's going to get held up onto new intermediates, and he's going to lose a lot of positions now. So, Skillsy, Shining, Donut, and Chevy all in the pits for new intermediates. So, the top three, he says Maxi Boy can go to the end, he reckons. And I think it's worth a shot. 18 laps. I think it's doable. You could be in puncture range, though. But, what is better, though? The one stop or the zero stop? So, this is a game of strategy here. And we'll see what happens, because this is going to be really interesting now. So Donut Gorilla's down to P12 and he's chasing back for that P1, but yeah, obviously will it be enough? The zero stop is better, says Left 4 Dead in the chat. Henchman is making a move up the inside on Cop's corner. And now Moe's under threat from H-Town. So yeah, Lefty says the zero stop's better, but yeah, if you start on those full wets, you really gained a little bit for those first 3 laps, but the Inters just got so much better, so much quicker. And well, Lefty usually does know, and Driver sets another fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so it's only getting quicker from here. Donut Gorilla already making quick work of Goffy there in the Ferrari. Yeah, but Lefty obviously usually knows what he's talking about. I think Moe is pulling into the pits now from his full wet tyres. They'll make it, says Inters will make it. They'll be in puncture range, says Camillo. The pace gap will be large, which, yeah, they'll make it. But the question is, you lose about 22 to 24 seconds in the pit lane, I think. Somewhere around that. Do you gain all of those 22 seconds back from having better tyres, though? And this is the real gamble of this race, because anything could happen, but Mick is still on those full wets. So he says they won't be anywhere near puncture range. So that is good if they can go 18 laps and not be puncture. But obviously Hunter, who started on this intermediate, started P20, is flying in the wet now. He's up to P8 already. It's Shining Swarm. Shining Swarm started, and he's got a penalty for exceeding track limits. He started. He was in the points before, but he started on the full wet, so we've got 2 people saying that they'll make it. Behind that, Frizy runs a little bit deep, and Henchy can go all around the outside, but that's what I said. So War Machine now sets the fastest lap of the race, so, and that's 1.8 seconds up from his last time, and 1.2 seconds up from Driver's previous fastest lap, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we got 2 people saying they'll be fine to the end, and Camillo, the Haas TP, saying that they'll be struggling a little bit. Frizy finally pits, and so does X-Knight, so yeah, Camillo obviously trusting starting on those full wets, but Left 4 Dead obviously getting his driver and the RB driver to start on those intermediates, and it is paying off so far. He's up 14 positions in this Grand Prix. The White and Frosty are looking really strong for the Williams team there, and now Donut Gorilla is on the back of Hunter, so he's got much quicker tyres. Can he do anything? He's already back up to P7 from P12, so he's up 5 positions, but well, he's still about 20 seconds off the lead of the race, and there's only 8 laps to make those 20 seconds up, so you need about, yeah, you'll need about 2 seconds a lap, 2.2 seconds a lap quicker. I don't think it's enough. Don't think it's enough, but now Duck Puncher and Mick, who's still on those full wet tyres, are going at it, and Mick is just staying ahead, but there's so much more grip on the outside line there for Duck, and he makes that move stick. Always did the opposite to what Churro says, so we'll see what Jerobot. That's what Jerobot said, sorry. That's how you won the championship last season. So, Frosty's on the podium positions here, but he's 10 seconds back from these top two, so they're flying. What now has joined the chat. So what now? This ain't rapid, my dude. This is the wrong chat, I'm pretty sure. Mick and Maney going at it, and Maney has made that move stick, and behind that, Frizy is now just going to get over his teammate. He's going to let him pass. So, but does that invite Moe to try and go up the inside of him? Yes, it does, and he sends that one. And he just makes that move really easy, but he goes a little bit deep and has a little tank slapper, but it is fine. X-Knight's trying to come back for the points. Wow. Can he get the exit speed? Just try and get ahead. Intermediates just have a lot more grip, but there we go. He is going to make that move stick. Yes, he will, but trying to fight back around the outside is Mick for the last points position, but he can't do anything about it now. As Kirko comes into the pits for new intermediates, but he's already in P19, so... Driver... Yeah, so he's flying. J-Swole had a crash early in the race, and he's out. Didn't catch it on stream though, so... Everyone now is kinda spread apart though, but I don't know, I thought these inters would be a little bit quicker now compared to the old inters, but Donut Gorilla's been on the back of Hunter for a few laps now, and he still can't quite make the move to do anything, so was left for dead correct, and looks like the zero stop might be better here, because yeah, I mean he's actually lost time to driver, has Donut Gorilla, so he had pace, but yeah, it looks like the zero stop is the way to go. But he is gonna try and make the move on Hunter towards P6, but that might be as high as he gets in this Grand Prix, depending on Hunter will let him go or not. But I don't think he will, because points are points, and they need them. So Williams is on for big points, so really good for us. Frizy gets a 3-second time penalty, so that'll drop him into P15 right now. Yeah, Donut can't do anything, and neither can his teammate, so... And that lap, he was a lot slower than Driver, I think, so... Yeah, but he's at Driver. Oh, he's had a huge tank slapper. And that is going to leave him under pressure now from War Machine, who's only 2.5, 2 tenths back now. Can we see Ferrari and Red Bull have another fight? Can we see anything like 2012? But Driver goes off the road in Cop, so he's really struggling now in the wet conditions. Maybe his tyres are getting a little bit how you're going. So, yeah. 6 tenths now to War Machine, so Dirty Air is really good helping him through there, it seems, and Duck got a drive-through penalty for virtual safety car infringement earlier in the race. So that was really unlucky for him, but still in the points. So what's going to happen now? Henchy on the back of Dwight. So this is really good racing here from Hunters. Yeah, still keeping behind Donut Griller, who, yeah, I thought he would have a little bit more pace than this on these wet conditions because new winters. Thought he'd be faster, but seems he just can't make any pace up around here. So let's see what happens now. From now on, 4 laps remaining. Still after this one, so anything can still happen. Henchman, though, gets ahead of Dwight there. That's not what Dwight wants. But he can't really fight back on the exit of that corner. Skillsy up the inside of Chevy Wolves, and he's going to keep that move now towards Cops. Unless Chevy can fight back, he's got a lot more battery. Oh, that was really close to a crash, and he goes off the road there because of that. So now he's 1.1 seconds back. But his teammate still fighting, trying to fight with Hunter to get past him, but he's lost a lot of time as Hunter's actually gained 3-second time penalty for Skillsy. That's not what he wants. But yeah, like I said, Hunter's actually gained some time there in Dwight, so Dwight losing a little bit of pace maybe now. So yeah, not what he would want. Maney also gets a 3-second, so it's not good. I'll tell you what though, Henchman is flying because he's caught up to Frosty now, and he's coming for that podium. It looks like Duck Puncher and Matt Skills are fighting. Oh, and Duck almost runs into the back of his teammate while trying to fight with Matt Skills. And Skills, he's gone off the road and deep. And that'll lose him the position to Duck and maybe even the position to Henchman, depending on what happens on this exit here. But jeez, that was close to. Yeah, that was not good from Skillsy. Defensive goes Frosty, and Duck now goes ahead of his reserve teammate, and now Skills, he's trying to fight back around the outside, but he runs out of road, and he almost has a little bit slip up, but it's a switchback of Dreams, and he makes that position, but so does Chevy Wolves now. Well, and there's contact and lag actually has costed Skillsy the position ahead. Fight for the podium is on between Frosty and Henchman. 26 seconds back now, so they're only fighting for P3 They're not going to be able to make up any more positions from this, I don't reckon, but Henchy takes the position, and it's a 4-5 for the Williams team. And lag there from Chevy as well, so... But if we have a look at this though, Hunter is catching Dwight rapidly. Only 1.8 seconds back now from the 6 seconds that it was a few laps ago, so... But there's only 1 lap remaining after this. Dwight a little bit of a tank slapper, but... Yeah, only 1 lap. Frizy and Maney are fighting, but Frizy just gets that move, and actually Maney is going to run out of fuel if he doesn't start saving. That's what that orange light means. And he does not want that, I don't think. So Frosty now 1.2 seconds back from Henchy, so it doesn't look like he can do much. Now Hunter's only 8/10ths back from the 2 Williams drivers as well now though, so... He's really caught them. Ooh, Donut Griller goes really, really wide there in cops, and that's going to cost him a little bit. But as we come on to the final lap now, with Driver in the lead of the race comfortably, 2.5 seconds. We'll see if the 2 Williams drivers can work together here to keep Hunter and Donut Griller behind, because Hunter is rapid right now. Like I said, he caught 6 seconds so far. 6 seconds, so... But he's under threat from Donut Griller still. But yeah, he can't make the move. It's gonna be really, really tricky here. As can he send one? Maybe. I think he can. Doesn't look like he can. For now. War Machine might be the GOAT. Trying to got the inside of Cops, so he was done at Griller, but he's gone wide again. And luckily he hasn't got a penalty yet, but yeah, he might not be able to get ahead of Hunter for now because of that though. Oh, I missed it because he's so far in the lead, but Driver comes across the line to win, and War Machine P2, sorry that I missed it. I just completely forgot that they were 30 seconds ahead of the rest, so that's on me. But Hunter sends it on Dwight and gets a position on the final lap just before the final chicane. Can he fight back? Doesn't seem like he can. There's yellow flags, and Maney's had a spin in the back, but Henchman is now the other driver, P3, to complete the podium. Frosty P4, Hunter P5, really good drive from him. 15 positions now. Time to do the Lewis Hamilton in the next race. He's going to come back and win it. So, the White and then Donut Griller, who made a gamble and it didn't work. X-Knights now getting ahead of Moe in this final lap, just before the final chicane. Does Goffey fancy his chances? He does, and he gets that position now. P14 for Goffey. So there we go. But there we go. There's your here we go. Fastest lap and race winner to driver. Hunter, driver of the day. Most overtakes and cleanest driver. Henchy and War. And there's the driver. Really good race. He takes full points for that one. 36 points for that race. Really good drive from him. Really good drive from Hunter. Coming back from how far he did. Hmm. Don't leave the lobby. Don't leave the lobby. Well, now we have to wait because now we gotta fix the lobby up. So don't know if I should wait here or if I just do another stream. Because we do have one more race to come. Alright, here we go. As everyone is now gonna start to ready up. For one shot qualifying, Silverstone reverse. Who is gonna come out on top? Let's find out. Hopefully it's dry this time, maybe. Well, not hopefully, but... Oh, hopefully for some people, I guess. We'll see what people prefer, but... Anyway, let's just see. What is gonna happen? Chop Shining and Henchy. I think it's with me, Teeth, who'll be commentating, but... For Tier 3. Anyway, 25 seconds, someone readied up without a setup, it seems. Anyway, let's see what happens now. X-Knight's currently on provisional pole, Frizy on provisional pole. This is going to be insane to try and commentate. But, yeah, right. So, Frosty is off the road and he's finished his lap. So, Henchy and Hunter looking really strong here. Henchy's keeping it so far. Moe and Donut Gorilla are fighting behind Dwight, Kirko, and all that. Frizy's making up a few positions now. Henchy and Hunter are looking really, really strong though. And so is Skillsy driver. Hunter and Henchy is switching. Hunter goes in. Oh! And Henchy has invalidated his lap. So that's provisional pole for Hunter so far. And H-Town Realtor in P2 with Moe, Duck, and Doc fighting. Henchy's retired from the session, so he's P20. H-Town Realtor getting ahead of Hunter so far. Maney retiring from the session. Both McLarens and Goffey are out of the session so far, so... Can't really commentate this really well because it's kind of hard to see, but Hunter is really, really strong here, it seems, in this qualifying session. And Dark is now into P2, switching with his teammate. Shining P10. Driver jumps off his positions. Dark is now on provisional pole. Hunter, can he snatch it back? This could be generational for his first pole position if he can do it, but it seems like Dark is going to snatch it to him on the line. Oh no! He gets pole position on the line, and that is a generational lap. A 27.792. Generational lap there, long time coming. Pole position, first one for Hunter. This is going to put him on the spotlight for the start now. So only 11 people finished their laps, but Hunter, Dark, the other kick, Skillsy, Driver, Moe, Knight, Dwight, J-Swole, Shining, Mick, Goffey. Then we got Henchy, Maney, War, Donut, Kirko, Frizy, Frosty, and Chevy. So, yeah, even though these three retired from their laps, because of that, they're ahead of them still, because these guys actually ran off the road and disqualified themselves, so... Congratulations to Hunter for his first pole position. But, it was really good from him. Looks like a dry race so far. Lefty, is it going to be wet? Like, lap 2? He says dry race for the entire time, so... Yeah, we'll see. Hunter had some really good pace in that quali run there, so we'll see if he's able to win this race, as he's had such a great run so far this week. But it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're racing in reverse Silverstone here for Tier 4. Doc gets a much better start, but so does Skillsy. Already Doc and H-Town already ahead into Turn 1 of Hunter, and he loses a position up the inside of Driver is Skillsy as well. And behind that, Doc from P2 has lost 5 positions now, and Hunter's 6/10 from the lead now in P2, but a really good start from Skillsy as he's made up position in Driver. Behind now, War Machine and Mick are going at it down here as well. Donut Gorilla getting ahead of Shining Swarm and Goffy. On the back of Goffy, sorry. Trying to get ahead of Goffy. And confusing camera angles here as everything is backwards. And up the inside, X-Knights, no Driver on Skillsy. In the reverse cops, and there's a huge tank stuff, but off the road is X-Knights now, and he takes out the DRS board, and there's huge contact between Shining Swarm, I think it was, and Maney, maybe. I couldn't see there, but there was an RB, I think, of Shining Swarm. All the way around the outside is Frosty. Surely he makes this move stick. Yes, he does. That is an amazing move. Yellow flags, though. Who's that off the road? I think it's Frizzy off the road. But now, Driver 1.6 seconds back off the lead, and 3:10 separates the top two now. So we got a reserve and the full-time driver for the RB. Hunter are now going to fight this out, and Hunter's got quite a little bit of a battery advantage there, so he's used a lot of battery as H-Town on this first lap. Really tricky here with the dirty air to make this corner, this turn 1 and 2. Maney already has a 3-second time penalty, but he's out of the points now. And so does Moe have the 3-second. That is not what he wants. And Frosty has a 3-second now as well. Shining Swarm and Henchman are going at it as she has to let Chevy whiz, but he's got a switchback. Oh, but if he didn't lift there, he could have made that switchback stay, I reckon, or stick. But now DRS already enabled, so that invites Henchman to try and go up the inside, outside. Oh, they have a little bit of contact on the straight as he goes a little bit deep there, but he keeps that position for now. Dark Puncher only 2/10 back now, but the dirty air, like I said, is crazy, and he's got no battery to work with here. Moe and Skillsy, they're fighting! What the actual straight line have I witnessed? And that's just, he's just killed Chevy. Chevy can't even get it pointing back straight. So that's a full course caution, so it'll be medium tyres to the end now. As we look at tyres, yeah, so new mediums for everyone, it seems. Hopefully they went balanced. What do you mean, what in the unsafe region? I dead-ass think he just straight lined the wall. What have I just seen? Someone's gonna get a penalty for that one. And there's a hold up in the pit lane as Dwight's put it in neutral. But you can overtake in the pit lane, so you'll be fine. As X-Knight's 10-second penalty, severe collision with Goffy, and Shining Storm spun in the pit lane. Kirko disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So, because the pit lane is so tight on the exit, and since the entry this time, he's got disqualified, and his race is over. And sorry, Carl, but there you go. But Maney stayed out, so he's cooked. So it's basically the exact same order, except for Maney staying out. That was crazy scenes there. What do you think, Jerobot? Unsafe rejoin. Crazy scenes, but it's given people a few penalties though. That was caused by Duck slowing down in the pit lane. What was caused, sorry, the disqualification of Kirko, or the 10-second between Goffey and X Knight's having a little bit of contact there? Will we see a penalty, maybe? That's a slam dunk penalty because you can only have 3 seconds. Yeah, you can only have 3 seconds tops. Yeah, I think that's a slam dunk penalty then. But it is safety car in this lap. And we'll look for Maney to see when he does his restart. When will he choose to bolt? It's a slow restart now. But I think he's gonna go in just a second here. Yep, and he's just gone now. But H-Town has had a great reaction as well as Hunter, but he's already up the inside and ahead so far, and that's off the track. And Doc and Driver are going at it. Hunter gets that position made. Behind that we see Maddie trying to go up the inside of X-Nice, but he's had a huge tank slapper on the rear there, and he's now fighting under pressure from Goffey. Hunter into the lead of the Grand Prix already. Could he be on for his first race victory here? Behind that, Driver on the inside trying to get ahead of H-Town, but he can't do it so far. Does he have the straight line speed? He's under pressure from Duck behind. He's pulling up towards the inside, but he's having to back out there, and so is Driver. Just trying to back out. He's trying to look for another gap, but he can't find the gap. 1 second already separates the from Hunter now, so that's a great gap for him. That is the exact restart that he would like. So getting ahead already is going to make this gap crazy. War Machine gets a 3-second time penalty. Where is he? He's already down into P13 as we see Mr. Frosty going off the track, and Dwight and Donut Gorilla looks like they're going at it up the inside. It's Donut Gorilla, and he's going off the track to try and take that position from Henchman. Is that legal? Because there was some crazy contact to give the position back. Behind there, Frosty and Donut Gorilla, War Machine and Frosty, sorry, are going at it. and War Machine gets ahead of Dwight. But Frosty's got an illegal overtake maybe, and he's on hard tyres. Oh my god! And because of him slowing down, I think he could get a penalty here for that because Frizy, or Mick, sorry. That was just crazy scenes there. But now, look at this 2-second gap, and he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. This is what flying looks like, I'll tell you that much. What the hell? Driver now looking to try and make a move. Oh, but he goes off the track a little bit there now, and